Hello.
Hello again, Mitch. Hello, Key.
Hey.
Hey, today how is? Hey, Key.
Thank you for joining us here.
Hey, pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Okay, so I have notified the community and hopefully they will join soon.
Cool.
So what happened? Is everything okay?
Yes, all
Yeah.
looks good except for the fact that Telegram isn't working.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually tried to give you a call just now, and that's why I didn't go through.
Yeah, I think there's a localized issue with Telegram there. That's okay. That's what happens where you're in the forefront of the fight, Key. Okay, so let's get started. Mitch was telling us about Forward Protocol's activities of this past week that we haven't caught up with the community. So, Mitch, could you please repeat what you told me in Telegram?
Yeah, I just said we've been really busy, being active on the tech side, expanding the team and working on the products that we're deploying first. And then on the business integration side, we've actually signed 3 new partnerships, which is really good. And there'll be those announcements coming out in the community pretty soon. But there's been some really good progress. And it's nice to be working on a project that is more long-term, because then you're not fixated on a certain event and what have you. It's actually just building a business. And so it's been a good week. It's been a great start to the year, and very positive all the way around with the team and how it's progressing. So I'm happy.
Okay, great. Key, we saw some very interesting pictures uploaded yesterday. So would you care to comment on that? How's your week been?
Yes, being in Dubai where all the action is, this is fantastic. Literally every day we see every other crypto company coming over to Dubai, and the number of founders and the number of people coming over here just has been massive. It's like every other person that you meet. I mean, at this point out here, out of 5 people that you meet, every one person is going to be a member of crypto community, and this is just great. So we had some great conferences, great meetings. We had a amazing meeting yesterday about the on the adoption side, the way the banking challenges exist, and how various crypto solutions are working to solve it. And that's one of the important areas that pertains to us, because we are focused on adoption focused niches. So connectivity to any of the real world mechanisms of people to work with the blockchain, it is super important to us. And it was a great meeting. In fact, we have a couple of partners that we ended up striking conversation with over there. So we are finalizing how and what the modalities of integration looks like, and that will be announced in the time to come as well. And most importantly, I had an opportunity to meet with a couple of members from our community. I think they even shared the photos and their enthusiasm. But we had some good conversation and a chat with both those members, and it was good. I mean, if meeting face to face with members who have been in the forward community chat for a long time, they had an opportunity to ask their questions and ask anything that they had in their mind. It was great catch up with both of them.
Yeah, it must have been amazing, eh? Really amazing.
It's always good to put a real face to the
Yes, it is.
Telegram and WhatsApp, the chat boxes that we have there. So it was good.
Yeah, that's what I love, when it really makes it real. Then when you see real people, and yes, it's beautiful.
Definitely. And what were some of the topics? What were some of the questions that you were asked, Key, by the community?
Oh, I think the questions were all back to the product roadmaps and etc. Because we have some amazing launches coming, so they were curious to know what was being worked on, and we also went through the all the common questions that are asked, and most importantly about our specific partnership based questions on how the integration works, and so on and so forth. So it was more of a deep dive on certain aspects and brainstorming, discussing about what possibilities might come out of it.
Okay, great. Okay,
Oh, also,
so
one of the members were interested in being part of our private beta testing group, so that was exciting. In fact, in the recent period, I had more members reaching out to be part of the beta testing as well. So that's another good part.
okay. Is it open for everyone? Can everyone apply for to help us out with our beta testing?
I've been evaluating members who actually have the actual experience testing something, so that it can be a more qualitative process. But yeah, if they do have actual experience, it'll be great to have them tested in the private beta testing group. I mean, with all the various products that we have, it's always good to have extra set of eyes for members to test, explore what's there, and see it from their own perspective and own backgrounds on uh, what their feedback looks like.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's dive into some questions that we see a lot in the group chat. Let's start with the most basic. When is the TGE going to happen?
So the TG is going to be right after the IVO, for which the date is not yet set. So there might still be some weight towards it, but the specifics on how the IVO is going to work and the terms of that is ready. So that's a good start. And once the date for the IVO is set, the TG will happen right after it, immediately after it. We would prefer it for it to be the next day, but yeah, finalizing those specifics as well as we speak.
Okay, so talking about the IVO, what can you tell us about it? Is there anything, any information that you can give us, anything that is finalized and we can share with the community?
Yeah, so the IVO round is
Should I
going
do a
to.
drum roll first?
Yeah, sure, do that.
Go ahead. It's a much anticipated answer.
Yeah, so we have it at similar size as the previous numbers. So it's going to be $100,000 IBO round, which will give access to 1,000 participants. Because in the previous rounds, we noticed that there are a lot of people who want to get on and they couldn't. So right now, we wanted to keep it a fair, flat process. So every user will have a max cap of $100, and that will give access up to 1,000 users to take part, and that makes it easier for more members in the community to participate and be part of the process here.
Okay, awesome. So we have $100 as a max cap. And what about the pools? Are there going to be different pools? Is it going to be all in one kind of deal?
So there'll be different pools. One to take care of the guaranteed allocation part, so which will be determined based on various activities that will be happening in the group from now on. And there'll be a first come first serve pool as well for people who come in through the last minute. But obviously, we know that demand in the first come first serve pool is going to be massive. So it is always recommended for people to be part of all activities to get in into the guaranteed allocation pool, which will make it easier. But we're also making the guaranteed allocation pool limited in time. That is, we are not keeping it open forever. It's going to be open more like an hour. So again, the final specifics of it will publish in a Medium article. But we're keeping the guaranteed allocation open for an hour. So if they are able to be there during that hour, they can claim it at any time. But if they don't end up claiming within that hour, the guaranteed allocation will be made available to all the other users in a first come first serve basis, so that the more interested and available people can take part in it rather. And to also make it because there are a lot of people who were trying to participate last time in DAO Maker and Mahastarter, and there has been a lot of whitelist around that as well, to give people the second chances on that. We are also having a pool specific to them where they can try again. That will be a first come first serve pool and a smaller pool, but still that will give them an opportunity to take part. But then we are not limiting a user to partake in more than one pool. So they could be on the on one of those pools, and they can still try to take part in the third first come first serve pool as well.
Okay, so far we've seen two pools. What are their sizes going to be?
Can you repeat? What are their
sizes? The pool size.
Okay, the pool sizes, we will publish it in the Medium article shortly. But yes, I mean the 100K will be divided among these three pools, and it will be published in a bit.
Okay. Is there going to be another pool?
Can you repeat again?
Is there going to be another pool, a third pool?
Yes, there are going to be three pools. One, a guaranteed allocation pool based on the whitelist campaign, which will later be converted to first come, first served if the people who are guaranteed don't pick it up within 1 hour. The second pool is going to be for the existing whitelisted participants of Mahastarter and Dowmaker on a first come, first served basis. If they already participated in the previous whitelist campaigns, they become eligible for this. And the third pool is going to be a standard first come, first served for people to join in if they have not been previously whitelisted. Obviously, the guaranteed pool is going to be a larger pool, and other pools are going to be smaller.
Okay, great.
So we have been listening to the members in the community, and they all expressed an interest to be on the guaranteed pool. They wanted the guaranteed allocations so that it's easier for them, because not everyone can fight through on the first come first served basis. So we wanted to give them that opportunity, but at the same time, we don't want to just limit that to the first come first served and let others lose it. So we're giving them that 1 hour time within which it is a guaranteed pool for them, and that makes it easier for them to come in. But if they don't, if they snooze it, then they lose it. So someone else can come after that 1 hour period to gain and have access to the allocation.
Okay. And you said that our community members can participate in multiple pools?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
So if they have, if they are winning a guaranteed allocation in the first pool, they'll still be able to participate in the first come first serve pool as well. But I would really, I would recommend that people stick, if they have got an allocation, then leave way for others. But yes, we are not necessarily limiting from our side their participation in multiple pools if they prefer to.
Okay, great. And how about the actual participation? What is the process there? Is there going to be a KYC process that they'll have to follow?
Yes, there will be a standard KYC process, and then if they are KYC approved, then they can partake in the pools. So irrespective of which pool they're whitelisted or part of, they still need to go through the KYC process.
Okay, and what about the whitelist process? Is that finalized? What's it going to be like?
The whitelist will be a standard Gleam-based campaign, but there will be other whitelist process as well, other contests and activities that will enable users to get whitelisted. So more of those activities will be published shortly, and between now and then, these different activities, the more they're part of, the more guaranteed allocation they can win and join in.
Okay. And what about any other tokens? Will they have to hold any tokens to qualify for the IVO?
No, the whole point of us doing the this particular launch here is precisely that, because people in the past, they have tried holding the other project tokens, other launchpad tokens to be part of it, but that was not affordable for everyone. Many members in the community wanted to do it without holding the tokens, but the community pools in the previous launches given by the launchpads were lower, which was hard. So now we are making it simple for all. It's a completely open and fair model, so they don't have to hold any tokens. All they need to do is just get whitelisted, and they can participate or take part in the first come first serve pool. They don't need any tokens to be held, which ideally means anyone can take part in it. They don't need to invest in any of the tokens or have those things in place.
Okay, great. So we have some very valuable information out there right now. And when can we expect more information to be released?
We will be able to release it this week, even if possible, more like within the next day or two. But the sooner we can, we'll get the IVO Medium article information out.
Okay. Okay, great. Mitch, what do you think of all this? I think we're getting closer and closer. Can you feel the
Yeah,
heat?
it's amazing. I think it's incredible. It's really exciting, and it's nice to have a focus like this. I think it's going to create a lot of impetus and momentum in the community, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
one
I
of the
agree.
other interesting updates, I mean, because end of the day, to me, what excites me more is not just the these activities around IVO and whatnot, but it's the real progress that we make. So we have been growing our business development side of things, adding more members to it and expanding, and we are working towards having more implementation partners in the ecosystem. So with our IVO contract here, now it's a very scalable model. So anyone, any other brand entity wanting to have their own fundraising models, they'll be able to use our IVO contracts to do it. That's precisely what Forward Factory and Forward Protocol is all about, giving everyone and anyone access to have their own platforms forward by forward. So in Dubai, I have already spoken to one crypto based entity who is exploring the use of our IBO contract for their internal needs to their community, whereas there are also other non crypto entities, the real world companies who would be using this model as well. So as the conversation progresses and the partners and the specifics of their implementation of finalized, that will be something that the community would be excited to hear as well.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're talking a lot about partnerships, but what are Forward Protocol's criteria exactly of picking their parties, partners?
It's simple. So there are multiple kinds of partnerships here. One, when we talk about the partner within the crypto space, they should be adding value to a real world entity. So, for example, someone like the Chainlink or Argo and etc. So, some of our existing partners, they provide a platform or service which can be integrated within Forward Factory. More like a plugin or a widget there, which in real world entity could use. So let's assume someone is trying to build an application using a drag and drop interface and they need a data price feeds, they can just use the Chainlink module there without having to code the API or without having to code something around it, because it's already pre-integrated by Forward Protocol in the Forward Factory. So they can just click and configure how they want to use that API in a no code interface and use it. And that is the same way that expands to any crypto based application. It could be a DeFi application, it could be any other tools that they provide or an infrastructure. As long as those platforms have a way to integrate in the Forward Factory, we'll be able to get them in. So that's within the crypto space. That helps us to expand the toolkits that we provide, the tool sets that our users or our application creators can use. But when we talk about the partners outside the crypto space, the real adoption focused entities, our focus is very simple. If they have a user base or if they have a need that can be satisfied by using blockchain, then we are an ideal fit. But the most important focus for me is their intention. So if they are ready to put in that energy effort to actually deploy, because when we talk about deployment, we always think about the development, the cost and time that it takes to develop. But with Forward Protocol and Forward Factory, that is not there. If they really want to do it, they just can drag, drop, and set it up. Of course, our drag and drop interface is not ready yet, but we still are facilitating it for the partners to do the integration from our side. So they will be able to do that. The cost and time it takes for development is not a concern here. But then anything that they do, they still need to introduce to their users. They still need to get it deployed in their organization. It's a process, and there is a time commitment that they need to do for it. So this is as simple as let's say in initial value sorry proof of value model for an employee incentivization. The company there still has to do this, inform their employees that they have a new model of incentivizing them. They have to onboard them for it, and that effort is something that has to come from a partner. If they have that interest and if they're ready to put that support from a business side from their end, we are always happy to onboard them and make it happen for them. So, end of the day, in adoption focused partners who are integrating, they handle the actual business implementation, whereas we are able to extend the tech platform, which makes it easy for them to use. I hope that clarifies. It was a little long-winded, but yeah.
No, no, I think it's great. A lot of good information. What about you, Mitch? What are you looking at, partner?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is that providing the toolkits and the functionality is one thing. The people that are ready to go, like right now, are the best partners because they're keen, they've got a need, and they want to integrate. So we're working with partners now and building a pipeline of people that throughout the next couple of months are going to be utilizing the protocols that are coming out right now and the 2 smart contracts that we're going to be using. And then as the other ones get implemented and rolled out, then we'll just fit them in. And obviously when Forward Factory comes about, then it becomes, being able to be utilized by a much larger crowd of people. But the onus or the focus here is on a partnership. It's a partnership between us and an integration organization that wants to utilize smart contracts and blockchain to power their organization. And there's going to be an effort from their side to put it together. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that are ready to go, companies that are wanting to integrate and utilize the protocol. And we'll meet them halfway and work together to get a great solution for them and to implement it and get it going. It really is a unique time and an amazing opportunity to kick off and launch something as Web.3 starts opening up and these toolkits become available, to be first out of the gate and to implement them. So we've got some great partners coming on, and it's going to be good to watch them roll it out.
And this year, as we all know, is the year of Web 3.0 because the DeFi and NFTs and metaverses, they've all created amazing toolkits and tool sets, I mean, or utilities. But then, unless the adoption part of Web 3.0, the platforms that enable people to use these tools is accessible, they will not be able to get in and use it. The larger adoption is not going to happen. So, Forward is primed in the perfect place to bring those people, irrespective of what they want to use in the blockchain space. We become the doorway. We become the entrance through which they come in. So that's a pretty exciting place to be in.
And I think the diversity of people that we're talking to. So every day, there are more people from different sectors that are coming in and speaking. And so we've got people from like e-commerce, we've got people from education, we've got people from like traditional organizational spaces that have got different use cases and all utilizing now the same smart contracts. And it's fascinating to see how it can be implemented right across the board. So as Key says, it does just become a doorway. We provide that opportunity for companies and organizations, platforms that want to utilize the power of blockchain but don't have the time or the financial capital to actually test it and take a risk. And in this case, they can actually take a risk because there's no risk. They can literally put a team in, meet us, we can get the implementation done and roll it out, and they can see how it functions in their organization. And the diversity actually creates the incredible opportunity because it widens it and makes it accessible to millions of people and not just a very narrow niche of people that are inside the crypto space.
And one of the important things with meeting and discussing with these partners is that the wider use cases will enable us to make the contracts and their customization in the front end more robust. So whenever we speak with partners and they come with new ways they want to use it, it could just be an additional field in the interface. It could just be an additional option. So, but that can open its possibility to a whole array of additional deployments. So this conversation helps us to constantly and dynamically upgrade or expand the templates that we are deploying on the Forward Factory. And the more robust it is, the more people will be able to use it for their own needs.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that functionality creates the flexibility because once Forward Factory is up and going, any platform can literally select an application from the repository, choose which smart contract they want to use, customize it fully, configure the settings in Forward Factory, and then just deploy it to a blockchain of their choice. And that functionality creates massive versatility and a huge market for individual contracts that can be utilized over and over again in multiple different sectors by different organizations with completely different use cases. So it's simple, but fully customizable, and being able to be utilized in different sectors really makes it a versatile tool.
Very true. Are there any partners right now that you're targeting? Anyone who you want to get on board as soon as possible?
Oh, yes. We do have the list of various fundraising platforms that we are targeting because they can get to the market immediately and extremely fast if they are using our IVO model. They can just integrate it with their existing application and be live ASAP. So we did put out the names for that as well.
Okay, and I think we are also asking the community's help for that, right?
Exactly, because this is we want the community to help us reach out to them. We are reaching out through our network as well, and we are holding conversation. But if any member from the community has existing contacts to them, that will be super helpful as to get the conversation going there.
Yeah, I think that's important for the community to really understand. It's not a case of us sitting across different sides of the table and looking at each other and them waiting for a delivery of certain products or the TGE or whatever it is. It really is a joint effort in working together to build something that's absolutely robust so that everybody benefits down the line. The stronger the community is, the stronger the platform will be. And I mean, if you look at the size of the community now, guaranteed with 100,000 plus people, they know more people than Key and I do. And they've got contacts in different areas and different sectors, people they've worked with, people they've networked with. And if they focus on what's coming out through the different channels and the help that we need and actually building out the ecosystem, they'll find there'll be a lot of help that we can get from the community, and we really encourage that. I mean, look out for it, guys. Have a look and see where you can help, what you can do, because together we're going to be stronger and we're going to build this quicker, and it's going to benefit the whole community much more. So we'd appreciate, just any inputs that you've got. Just bring it forward, reach out to us, and connect, and let's get it going forward.
Great. I think it's very important to include the community in all this effort, because this is just a sign that they're just not as much a part of what we're doing as our very own co-founders. So that's very important. Okay, so now let's listen from the community. If anyone who wants to ask any questions, please request a speaking access and you will be granted, so you can talk directly with us. Okay, not getting any requests, which means that the community is all up to date and happy with your answers.
Excellent.
Anything else that you would like to add, Mitch, please?
We are constantly building, constantly reaching out, and constantly working on expanding the ecosystem, and at all times always open for feedback. And as you can see with the IVO, the entire IVO by itself is a very good example for that. We heard the feedback and the need to provide something for everyone in a fair way without having to hold tokens in a place where they are that meant for the forward community and not with other communities, and that has been heard. And also it serves dual purpose. It's a showcase of our initial value offering model, one of the early stage use cases of it. Of course, the contract and the model will continue expanding, growing to accommodate more complex needs, but it's a first product that's there. So it shows progress both from the development standpoint and from the listening to the community and adopting the progress as we go. So on both those fronts. I would appreciate all members in the community who have shared their feedback thus far. And let's continue building, let's continue reaching out, and let's continue making the ecosystem stronger than ever before.
Okay, great. Okay, and since you mentioned the product development, are there any products in the pipeline that are released and not announced yet, or they're about to be released?
We do, yes. There are both, because we are focusing more on the EV and proof of ownership EVO part. There are progress on both those fronts, including the sample deployments. So we will get more news on that shortly out.
Okay, great. I think we can wrap it up here, and we will catch up again next week.
Thank you.
That sounds good.
Thank
Thanks.
you
Nice
too.
chatting.
Bye.
Cheers.
Sure. Thank you all.